Hello, Federal viewers. Welcome to this live discussion. So, India has won their third World Cup, T20 World Cup, and this is the second consecutive T20 World Cup they are winning, and it's a massive celebrations all around. And we are joined by Vignesh, our cricket analyst. And how are you feeling, sir? First of all.
This is something really a great feeling for a fan of Indian cricket. Towards the total cricket, yes, of course, but the special fan towards Indian cricket with the Indian jersey, even just before the match, I saved it best. And let me tell you, this is the 2023 World Cup jersey. If you remember this,
Right.
this was at the same venue. It was at the same venue, and I wore it with the purpose that people told me, no, please don't wear this because 2023 World Cup at Ahmedabad, we lost against Australia, the all important 50-over World Cup. But for me, this was something very close to my heart, and I always believe that we just had that one bad match in that particular final. And I said, as I said before, if India had one bad match during the league phase, it's always better. And that match has already gone past, and India right now the deserved winners. The best team won. Let me put it that way, because throughout the tournament, India played really good brand of cricket. And so hats off to Team India. And of course, being a host, you get a lot of other brownie points. You know the pitch. You've played in all these conditions really well. You have so much amount of support by means of people with the population, and one a particular sport that everybody watches is cricket in India. So everything put together, I think this is one of the fantastic story on March 8th, 2026. And even the a symbolic representation with the pink behind, today being the Women's Day. I also wanted to wish happy Women's Day to everybody. They also loved it today that the men team actually won the World Cup. So this is actually a payback time. We congratulated the women team, and now on the Women's Day, they are actually cheering the men's team to win the World Cup, and we have won it. So let's take it that way.
Beautifully put, sir. You have spoken very nicely, and yeah, as it's there on the screen, history has been created, and many people, as you said, in 2023 Narendra Modi Stadium, when India lost the match, and now in the same stadium, India has won the T20 World Cup, and they have almost they have ticked all the boxes. And what was which I told before in the pre-match show, they literally tick all the boxes, and now they are the world champions yet again today. It's actually we are the first team to win the T20 World Cup in consecutive time. And I think, sir, do you think that it's like India, it's now the Indian cricket is in a space where once upon a time, Australian team was dominating the whole world. So in that period of 2000, early 2000s, and early 2000, 2011 to 2015 and all, Australia was like great. They were doing so great. So do you think India is in that kind of position right now in the world cricket?
Well, to answer that, partly yes, and then also no, because we still haven't actually won a WTC tournament as yet. We haven't
Right.
still got a good win. Probably playing in South Africa, we haven't won a series over there. We haven't still able to back our skills and play the best cricket in some of the other Sena countries, right? So South Africa, England, New Zealand, and Australia. So there's a lot of things which are there. Of course, at home we are the best. I can say that because we're playing good brand of cricket. Thanks to a lot of different things, IPL has changed. Let's accept that IPL has changed the way Indian cricket has been now being played, right from infrastructure, players. Now it's not just the India team. It's India A team, B team, C team, D team put together can still be so competitive against other teams. See, for example, you don't have somebody like a Shubman Gill, who is actually the captain in other two formats, not
Right.
even featuring in the T20 format, right? So
Yes.
that's how the depth of Indian cricket is right now. And somebody like a Jaiswal, who's been playing so well and so bad that he's actually missing out, and somebody like other batters who are there. And you can say about that to a lot of
Rutraj
others who
Gaikwad.
are there. Ruturaj
Rutraj
Gaikwad
Gaikwad.
to that
Yes.
example. And the list goes on, that there are so many people. Sai Sudarshan, who's been playing for a tremendous amount of cricket. And then Shreyas Iyer, one of the champions in the 50 over format. Even in T20, he's been playing well. So all these people are all there. That's what I'm saying. The list, probably I would have missed out another 100 people, but just on top of my mind, I'm just talking about 4 or 5. Even in the bowling department, it's like that. Imagine somebody like Kuldeep not able to get a game in this particular tournament, right? So that says how much is the bench strength which is there. So putting all these things together, I would say that yes, at home we are doing really good in the shorter format, but the other cause of worry is the longer format of the game. We have lost 2 home series, bilateral series, right? So that is actually still haunting a lot of Indian audiences. So I'm still not convinced on that particular part that we are still the best. Australia dominated 50 over cricket. T20 wasn't at the best at that point in time. Probably it just started coming out at after 2007. But then way Australia played 50 over and test cricket was phenomenal. If you ask me where we are, probably I would say 70 to 75%. Still not there at 100% because you need to show that consistency, number one. And number two is that be champions all 3 formats. So that is something, is still a lot of work to do for Team India. But let's take today's victory, the winning the T20 World Cup, consecutive World Cup, is a big feat. It's not simple. It's not easy. No other team has done it. So for that, today we have to salute to the Indian cricket team, to the laurels that they have brought for the country.
Yeah, yes, sir. Absolutely, sir. Talking about the coach, Gautam Gambhir, he was, initially how much criticisms he was receiving for, so many series India lost in India, and so many records were broken by the opposition team when they visited India for the India's tour of whatever the team who played over here. So how do you what do you think about Gautam Gambhir? So will be is it he'll be satisfied, and how it's going to be for him? It's going to be, he's always successful on the T20 formats. So just that is the ODI and the test format didn't go as just like T20 format. So what do you think about Gautam Gambhir's coaching strategy for this?
Well, Gautam Gambhir and the team has put immense amount of hard work behind the scenes, right? So he has got his own team. He said that I wanted some specific coaching, members, and he got what he wanted, and today he achieved it. But what I saw with Gautam Gambhir, is a very serious person. A little bit of smile, and that the little bit of smile today changed the whole perspective of what it is. Not the biggest smile, of course, it's not the biggest smile. The day that he smiles to that particular extent, like some of the others, then probably I would say that Gautam Gambhir himself would be satisfied. I don't think he's still a satisfied man because there's a lot of boxes that he needs to tick. But that little bit of smile gives up that particular hope. And he had thought that, okay, Team India has done something under my helm. So he would take that any day. And today is that special day for him as well.
Yeah, as you said rightly, sir. I once read a statement of Gautam Gambhir saying, I really need to have a happy dressing room. So fortunately or unfortunately, happy dressing room is a winning dressing room. So that's what his statement was. So he must be happy today. And sir, I just wanted to touch upon today's game where I just want you to analyze where New Zealand lost the game. So looking at the scorecard, they started pretty decent, but unfortunately the fall of wickets from Allen, Rachin, Ravindra, and it was a major collapse in the middle. So how do you see this, sir? What happened? What is the major cause for their loss?
See, as I mentioned to you, right? If the openers are not playing, and this is what I emphasize, if the openers are not playing, the middle order isn't clicking. And you can see that by this particular scoreboard. Those are all telephone numbers, right? 9185388063. Barring 3 players, Tim Seifert going, he scored 52. and then Daryl Mitchell 17 of 11 balls, and then Mitchell Santner 43 of 35. See, for example, if your top five batsmen, which includes Finn Allen, Rachin Ravindra, Glenn Phillips, Mark Chapman, okay, these are four major names. Along with, let's also take Daryl Mitchell, who was 17 is not still a very big score, just a double-digit number. And if they have not scored, you can't do anything. And when you have to chase 250, what is very important is you need to keep the wicket also preserved, and also the rate of scoring should be high. And we saw this, Shravan. If you see in India's innings, after you got some quick wickets. I think the New Zealand, when they got quick wickets, India were almost at one point in time. There's a lot of discussion. There would have been a lot of discussion whether it's going to be 260, anywhere between 260 to 300 is what a lot of people would have started analyzing. Today, can it be the day for 300? But it did not happen, because wickets are the most important dot balls, and the new batsmen, when they come in, it's not easy to go and hit right from ball number one. So I thought the wickets, right? Finn Allen, when he got out, Rachin Ravindra, beautiful slow delivery from Bumrah, foxed him, and Glenn Phillips, all throughout his campaign in this T20 World Cup, he isn't batting it straight. He's got a lot of gap between bat and pad, and today again it was exposed, and it was Axar Patel who got him. So those three quick wickets, right? What Axar got was the turning point of the match. And false shot. The false shot was also induced because they need to get to that particular run rate. They were also eyeing to score about 80 to 90 runs in the first 6 overs. It's only then they could actually reach that tall task. Because that was not able to be achieved, those wickets came in. That's the reason for the complete collapse. Wickets win matches. Axar first, Bumrah second.
Yeah, and also, sir, today we talking about India's fielding. Like, I think balls were like they were trying to find Ishan Kishan. That's what I think. Like most of the catches Ishan Kishan only took, and there is one fantastic catch near the boundary line, which was like mind blowing. So talking about the fielding and the bowling of India. So, sir, wanted to ask you regarding this Jasprit Bumrah as a player. So many people, around the world, they are saying that this even in our own Indian team, told people used to tell that this player like Bumrah will come once in a century, and is it like how Bumrah is able to manage this kind of a spell? So what is his secret as an expert? What do you think? What is he doing, trying to do?
See, I need to give a lot of credit to the way things have actually come by even during his formative years, right? Because a very unique action. And those initial days, because see, all the coaches, the way that Indian coaching system actually happens when compared to what you see in the Australia, New Zealand, or UK, or some of the other countries, there's something subtle difference which is there. India likes to work on correction factors to make the weaknesses into a strong factor. But the Australian way of coaching system, if I want to tell you, if you're doing something really good, start doing it in a really, really important way that it can lead to the summit. That is the way that the Australian system is. But in the case of Bumrah, I think the initial coaches were really good in the way that they didn't try to, probably tamper with his action. Because I'll give you an example. The classic case is Munaf Patel. Okay. Munaf Patel was a fast bowler. Okay. He was actually bowling in 140s. A lot of things got changed. He came in again to the Indian team, was bowling more line and length for 125, 130 and things like that, which is there. I'm not saying it was bad, but the way that he was there. Right now, you have somebody like Mayank who's still, trying to knock on the Indian doors with the pace at what he's bowling. But coming back to Bumrah, what is very important with him is the way that he is able to change the pace of the ball, right? He's got the cunning slower ones, the off-cutters, very good yorkers and line and length, and he's able to also move the ball. So this is a very rare commodity that you have a slower delivery, you have a cutter, and you have also seamers which can actually move both ways, and that's not easy to play. And his line and length is so immaculate. That is what is the most important thing. He worked hard on his fitness as well, because I know that he puts in a lot of effort onto his knees and back and injury prone action. But still, I think he has survived the scare. He has survived. Yes, of course, he had a rehabilitation program and things like that. But when it's most needed, Bumrah was there for Team India.
Yeah, yes, sir, absolutely. So, I want to talk about Axar Patel. So, Axar Patel is, in this, be it 2024 and be it 2026. So, he's, he was one of the vital contributors for all the key games in the both the World Cups. So, what do you, can we say that he's like trying to fill the position of what Ravindra Jadeja used to do as a player, like a proper all rounder, left arm all rounder, we can say. So, what do you think about this man who's been absolutely a key team player?
No, absolutely, absolutely. It's unfortunate that he played almost along with Ravindra Jadeja during his era, right? So he wasn't able to shine during that particular time because you already had Ravindra Jadeja, and to pick a second bowler with a similar
Yeah,
quality, India, they thought that it is too much to actually have within their weight. So probably that's the reason Akshar Patel couldn't actually be there. We say that with a lot of other cricketers also, right? When the second one is also doing well, the first one actually overshadows the second one, and that typically happened to Axar. What I like about Axar is keep it simple, his height, using the height, and then pinging it right into the line and length, and then getting that subtle variation. Nothing fancy. He doesn't have a carom ball or a back of the hand, nothing. A gentle left arm orthodox off spinner, but he uses his height to his optimum. Catching. The catching in the semi-final was awesome. And then his ability to also score runs in the middle order. Of course, in this particular tournament, he was not being tested to the way that it is required, but we
yeah,
also know what is his prowess with the bat. So the three bases that what he is able to take, batting, bowling, and fielding, is something really good. And Aksar's 3 wicket is the most crucial thing for India to set up this particular victory. Of course, I'm not saying that if Axar had not taken this three, it would have not been there. But he set the momentum for the India's bowling unit.
yeah, got it. So, Varun Chakravarthy was also, he was also looking in, was looking good touch. He was going for runs, but at the same time, he tried to control comparatively to the previous games. So, I think coming to this Varun Chakravarthy. So, I think he is bowled pretty decently. So, what do you think about his bowling action, bowling
No,
today?
I would still say that with all these people, maybe you're just giving a slightly a soft corner towards Varun. But if I have to be a very good critic, I have to say that 3 overs 39 isn't the best, because if you see other bowlers, especially somebody like Aksar, who is another spinner, when he is not gone in for so much amount of runs. Varun going for 39 runs in 3 overs, he's still not got certain things right. Something is not working out well in the last few games for Varun. But at least one thing good for him is that now there's no more matches, no more pressure situation until the start of the IPL. So I think he'll figure it out. He knows what he needs to do. But sometimes those brief moments and times where you get those days off is so important for you to come back. But today, again, I would say Varun was far from his best.
Yeah, right, sir. So when it comes to I wanted to ask you about Suryakumar Yadav's captaincy. So it's like many people online say that India is having a great stronger team. So I have seen a very straight tweet saying that. India is having a stronger team, and anyone who is captaining the team can win the World Cup. So, what do you think about this statement? Which was I found that to be very different, but I just want you to know what do you think about Surya Kumar Yadav's captaincy in this.
See, that's easy to say, right? But then let's understand certain things. Um, bowling changes in the previous match. Okay, and I really liked it. I'll tell you why. Because when Bethel was actually hitting so really well, what he did was he chose to make Bumrah complete his 4 overs before itself. There's a lot of tendency for the captain to retain the best bowler until the penultimate or the last over. But if you see Bumrah, I think he got completed in the 17th or the 16th over. Okay,
Yeah.
so which means that he's taking that particular lot of things, lot of calculations. It's not easy. You just don't decide only on how the team is batting. It's your bowling choices, how you are setting the field for each of those batsmen, what line that you're asking the bowler to bowl. So there's a lot of nuances which comes into cricket, and to execute all these things, you need to have a cool and a composed captain. What I like about Suryakumar Yadav is the fact that he's calm under pressure. Of course, there are a lot of things that everybody goes through this particular pressure, gives out a lot of these kind of sign languages. Your body language says that you're getting more tense. Yeah, there was some brief time, but what I liked about Suryakumar Yadav is calm under pressure. So he keeps those things controlled. Yeah, when the team is also doing well, it's also because your captain is giving you the freedom to do it. So it is also important that that freedom needs to come in. So you're also accepting him as a captain, because that is a good sign of morale that what Team India has, and what the trust that Surya Kumar Yadav has built. Let's accept the fact that he has not performed well in this T20 tournament. Again, today, first ball duck. But the
Right.
thing is that people played around him. So a good captain also ensures that it's not about only him, but people are able to play around him, that he did. So I don't go with this particular theory that because Team India had a good team, Surya Kumar Yadav got this particular thing. There's a lot of things. We are only looking at the tip of the iceberg, but there are so many preparatory camps, so many things which happens, which doesn't come out in the media. So let's accept the fact that there's so much amount of simulations, so much amount of video analysis, to a lot of different preparations, to extended sessions. Everything has gone in, and Surya's involvement is right up there for winning.
Yeah, he will also be joining the elite club of captains who were watching the match today. And yeah, sir, I before I let you go, I just want to ask you one thing. You know, it's been like there are a lot of transitions happening in in the world cricket and the Indian cricket. Lot of new bowlers are coming in, and this what do you think that it's going to be a major boost for other team also to just step up like India, and we'll also be doing it. So what do you finally your final thoughts on this, how India's like how people get inspired by India and things?
There are a lot of good teams. For example, the way that I would say um, India's prowess is really good. One team I would see coming back strongly is Australia, right? There's a lot of talks about Australia because first time they got eliminated during the group stage itself. Okay, I think the last time that happened was probably back in the 1992 World Cup. So that is how strong Australia is. Okay, and there is a lot of analysis which is going around saying that they are not taking T20 so seriously. Sheffield is going on, other tournaments are going on, and that is where they are actually looking at. So I'm sure that Australia is going to come back strong. Australia missed out on a lot of key things. They did not get their best players. They're still
Yes.
banking on some of the old stalwarts like Glenn Maxwell and others. I still feel that Glenn has gone past his best. So they need to actually bring in some fresh, people. They still have a lot of different batsmen, bowlers, everybody was there. But the biggest drawback for them was the trio, the fast bowling trio of Mitchell
Pat
Stark,
Cummins.
Hazelwood, and Pat Cummins
Cummins.
not playing the T20 tournament was actually an important cog in the wheel that they missed out. So that's one. Australia, a lot of things which also I would take to the neighboring countries. Sri Lanka had a glimpse of hope, they lost it. So they would
Yeah.
still want to come back and then do. They talked about injuries, but the thing is that they didn't have the depth. So they were banking on somebody like a Patirana or the leg spinner who was there. Vanindu
Saranga.
Hasaranga. So these are the two people who are very, very important. And the captain said we lost them at a very crucial stage. Pakistan, we all know what happens. Every time their own politics, their own things, everybody start complaining about each other. But once they stop doing that, they still have a good talent. In my opinion, they still have a good talent. But somebody needs to channelize them and take it forward. That never happened for Pakistan. But another good team which I wanted to see, which will rise up again, is Afghanistan. They're really, really
Right.
unlucky to miss out now because of they were in a very, very tough pool where you had New Zealand as well as South Africa. I think both of them in the same group, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
No, I think, or probably England, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
But anyway, Afghanistan as a country have got very good young cricketers, and Rashid is still not. Rashid has been playing for the last 8-10 years, and he's still in his probably mid to 26, 27 years. So he's still got a long way to go. So these are the teams which I would see that they would come really well. I'm not discounting on the other teams, but they have also done well. Another team, again, which lacks experience or probably not showing that consistency, is West Indies. So I think these teams can be coming well in the coming years, can be doing well in the coming years, but we need to wait and watch. But with that, I think I would say every 2 years. So there is a lot of opportunities. Unlike the 4-year tournament that you need to wait for the next 3 years or the fourth year to come back and win a tournament because your team changes. You can still prepare with the same team in next 2 years and get them to a victory. That is what India team did, except for 3 players, I believe, right? Ravindra Jadeja, and then Rohit Sharma as well as Virat Kohli. So these were the 3 who were not there, but still that crux was there. So that's the fun part of the T20 because these World Cups are every 2 years.
Yeah, sir. Yeah, just one last question. Was that one complete player in this tournament you felt was best at his peak? I mean, at his prime. Who was that player? One player from India or any other team works?
Well, I would say Jasprit Bumrah. Okay, because see, T20 has always been a batsman's game, right? And in
Yes.
a batsman's game, somebody coming in and bowling those death overs, bowling those things consistently, knocking on the batsman, it's not easy. And Bumrah has done it. So I don't want to not take away the names of the batsmen, but when it is a batsman's game, a person who did really well, I would say, is Jasprit Bumrah. So for me, he is my consistent performer, and he is the person who made the changes for the Team India.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And once again, congratulations to Team India. And we are going to see Indian team will be lifting the trophy in another 5 to 10 minutes. And anyway, thank you so much, sir, for this joining in this live with us. And thanks for sharing your insights in the pre-match and the mid-innings and the post-match live. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Federal viewers.
Thank you, Shravan. Thanks for having me as well. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.